Welcome back. These are grammar lessons for Year 3 and 4 children, and this is Week 3, Lesson 3. Our learning objective for this lesson is to know what a subordinate clause is. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to recall the difference between a main and subordinate clause. You will also use subordinating conjunctions correctly, and you will even be able to write some sentences with several clauses. We looked at clauses yesterday, but it's quite tricky, so let's quickly recap. A complex sentence. A sentence with a main clause and a subordinate clause is called a complex sentence. In fact, it may have a main clause and several subordinate clauses, and the clauses in a complex sentence can usually be rearranged. This is the example we looked at yesterday. Joshua put on his coat because it was cold outside. Joshua put on his coat is our main clause, because it could be a sentence on its own and because it contains the main bit of information that we need. Because it was cold outside is our subordinate clause. It begins with a subordinating conjunction because. It doesn't make sense on its own as a sentence. Because it was cold outside can't be a sentence on its own. And it gives the reader a little bit more information about the main clause. Now, we've just said that the clauses in a complex sentence can be rearranged, and here's an example of that. We've switched our clauses round. We've begun our sentence with our subordinating conjunction, because, and we've finished our sentence with our main clause. Now our sentence reads, because it was cold outside, Joshua put on his coat. The only difference, apart from the fact that we've switched our main and our subordinate clauses round, is that because we have started our sentence with a subordinating conjunction, we must also remember our comma. Now, you will also have seen this before. Here are 10 of the most common subordinating conjunctions. There are others, but these are the ones that you will see most often. If, since, as, when, although, while, after, before, until, and because. We're just going to complete a little activity now so that you can practice using those conjunctions. I'd like you to have a look at the picture you can see on your screen. Look carefully at it, because you're going to be writing some sentences about it in a moment. On the right here is a grid with our subordinating conjunctions. Hopefully you're beginning to recognise them by now. Your task is to select a subordinate conjunction from the grid and create a complex sentence to describe the picture in some way. Now, you can write those sentences down, or you could just say them to somebody if there's a grown-up helping you with your work. Your challenge, if you're up for it, is to see if you can come up with one sentence that contains 3 subordinating conjunctions. Your sentence does still have to make sense, and it must describe the picture in some way. I'll show you my effort. Here's my sentence. Although the mouse put on a crash hat when approaching the cheese in the trap, it was still hurt because the hat was faulty. I've used the subordinating conjunctions although, when, and because to write one sentence about the picture. Now you have a go. You might want to pause the video to give yourself some thinking time. Here is your task for the day. There are 3 sheets available to help you practice writing subordinate clauses. You don't have to do all the sheets. You'll see that there are stars allocated to each sheet. 1 star is the easiest sheet and 3 stars is the trickiest sheet. Depending on how confident you are, choose the sheet that you think is the most suitable for you and have a go. Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow.